Hey YouTube! Some of you may have seen on my Facebook page that last weekend I was making pot stickers. I had posted a picture of the work in progress and got a huge response to that. It was like, ooh, pot stickers, tell me more. So today, we're making pot stickers. Pot stickers, you say? Where do we get started? The first thing we need to do is to create the dough for our pot stickers. Now you probably could go to an Asian market and buy, say, wonton wrappers and do it that way, but today we're going to make everything here from scratch. So in the mixing bowl I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of salt, and here I have 1 1/4 cups of cold water. You may not need all of this water, but have it on hand just in case. So we're going to put this here in the mixer and get this going. Now you may say, Stuart, I don't have one of those. You know, you can still make this recipe. Just mix the dough by hand, knead it on the counter, and you're good to go. In this case, we're going to let the machine help us with some of the work, but if you don't have a mixer like this, don't worry about it. It's all good. So we're going to let this go here. And we're going to slowly start adding our water in and kind of let this come together, but keep an eye on it because you don't want the dough to be too wet. You just want it to come together. This is exactly what you're looking for. We added our water slowly as the mixer was running, and the dough has just now formed a ball there in the bottom of the bowl. If we look over here, you can see I still have water left. So go slow with your water and add just enough until it comes together. Now that the dough has come together, I'm going to let the mixer run for about 3 minutes on low to just kind of knead the dough a little bit. And like I say, if you don't have a mixer that will do this step for you, just go ahead and knead it by hand. It's all good. Once our dough was done kneading, I took it out of the mixer, wrapped it in plastic wrap, and we're going to let that sit for about 20 minutes while we get working on our filling. For our filling, I'm going to use 2 cups of ground pork. You can do this with ground chicken too if you like, but in this case we're going to use ground pork. And just put that there in the food processor. Now some of you may say, but Stuart, I don't have a food processor. That's okay. Just chop everything really fine, put it in a big bowl, and mix it together like you were mixing a meatloaf. You can certainly do it that way too. I'm just using the food processor to make life a little bit easier, but you don't have to have one. So to our pork, we're going to add 3 cups of, of Napa cabbage. We're just going to add those in here, and that's 3 cups. Just goes right in here. And my lettuce seems to be escaping. We'll just put that in there. Now to this we're going to add about 1/3 of a cup of green onion. Just put that right in there. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of chopped fresh ginger. Now if you like a lot of ginger, you can use a little bit more. I've gone all the way up to a tablespoon in here, but in this case we're going to use about 2 teaspoons. So we'll put that in there. Now have 2 cloves of chopped garlic. If your cloves are really large, I would say go with 2. If your cloves are really small, I would say go with 3. Kind of depends on how much garlic you like. Some people like more, some people like less. So we'll just put that in there. And then I have 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. 2 tablespoons, not teaspoons. 2 tablespoons of regular soy sauce go in. I have 2 tablespoons. This is Mirin rice wine, and it can be found usually in the Asian section of any supermarket. So this will go in. This is 2 tablespoons of the rice wine. Here we have 6 tablespoons of sesame oil. There again, can usually be found in any Asian aisle of any supermarket. So we'll put that in there. And lastly, I have 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt and half a teaspoon of pepper. So this is just going to go right in here as well. Not one more escaping there. Put our lid on, and we're just going to pulse this. You don't want to overmix it. We're just going to pulse this until it all comes together. And you may have to knock down a piece of lettuce or two in here. Right? It doesn't hurt to kind of stop the machine and give it just a little bit of a stir. And our filling is done. It's assembly time. I've taken the dough out of the plastic wrap and put it here on just a floured board. Use plenty of flour. This is a sticky dough, sticky dough. So it needs plenty of flour. And I've just kind of got it into a rectangle here. What I'm going to do is cut off probably about an inch here. And I'm going to break this into probably about 1-inch sections. So I'm going to say probably about pieces of dough about 1 inch by 1 inch. And like I say, make sure you have plenty of flour for this. And I'm just going to roll it into a ball. There. Roll it into a ball. Now, there's a couple ways that you can do this. I'm going to use the pasta roller attachment to the mixer to help make life easier. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. Use your rolling pin. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these started with the rolling pin here. Just get these started. And then I'm going to put these. If you have one of these are great. I'm just going to put this down here. And there's the dough for our filling, if you can see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue on with some of these. Like I say, you can certainly just roll these by hand if you don't have them. But if you do have the pasta rollers, they will make your life a little bit easier. Now that we have part of our dough rolled out, I'll show you how to fill them. What we're going to do is take just a little bit of our mixture, probably about a teaspoon, maybe a little more, depending on how big you've made your circles of dough. And we're just going to put this, drop these on here. All right. Drop these on here like so. Put that on there. This on here, and these don't have to be perfect, and so we're gonna put those on there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my finger, dip it in a little bit of water, and I'm just gonna moisten the edge of the dough, and then that way when we fold this over, push it down, go around your filling, push it down here. That way, the dough will stick together, and then with floured fingers here, you can kind of make, crimp your dough closed here. Because these don't have to be perfect. If you've got excess around here, you can take a pair of kitchen shears and just trim off the excess dough, and you're set. So we'll go. Move on to another one here. Like I say, if they're not perfect, don't worry. Let's put these over here. Push this down. Push this down here. And like I say, if you end up with excess dough here on the edges, it's alright. Just take a pair of kitchen shears. We're just gonna trim them down. Flour. Make sure these are crimped closed. Alrighty. And here we go. Now I'm just setting these on a parchment lined baking sheet behind me, and I'm going to continue filling and rolling, and we'll see you back in a minute. All right, and here we have our finished product. Here are the assembled pot stickers. In this case, I got 44. Depending on how much filling you put in them will determine how many you get. But in this case, I've got 44 of them. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put these in the freezer for an hour, and then once those have frozen, we're going to put them in a zip top bag. And the great thing about that is you have them ready to go anytime you want pot stickers. These are not hard to do, but they can be time consuming, so it really is kind of worth it to make a big batch at one time, and then you're ready to go. Now our pot stickers are frozen and we're about ready to put those on the stove, but you can't have pot stickers without the sauce, right? So let's make some sauce before we cook our pot stickers. I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce. Make sure it's low sodium. I've done this with regular and it tastes like you're eating pure salt. It's not good. So 2 tablespoons low sodium soy sauce. 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar. We use the rice wine in our filling, and then we're using rice vinegar in their sauce. 1 teaspoon of chopped fresh ginger. Put this in here. And then here on the board I have 1 clove of garlic that's been chopped. I have 1 green onion that's been chopped. Put those in there. I'm going to add half of a teaspoon of sugar. Put that in there. And then 1/4 teaspoon of chili oil. So we'll put this in here. There we go. And we're just going to mix this up, and we're going to let it hang out. Now we're going to strain this. If you're worried about all the chunks of ginger and onion and garlic in here, we're going to strain this before we serve it, but we'll let it hang out and let all those flavors mix together. And it really will be quite a nice sauce to go with the pot stickers. All right, who's ready for pot stickers? What I did was, now that our pot stickers are frozen, I've just put them in a zipper bag and just keep those in the freezer. And that's perfect because any time you get the craving for pot stickers, you can pull out a few and just cook however many you need. I don't cook these traditionally. The traditional way of cooking them would be to cook them in the pot with both oil and water at the same time. And then the theory being that as the water cooks and steams, it steams and cooks the dumplings, and then once the water evaporates, then the oil kind of kicks in and crisps them up. The problem that I find is, how much water do you use? If you use too little water, the water evaporates too quickly, and then your pot stickers aren't cooked all the way through yet. Or if you use too much water, then by the time the water evaporates, then they're overcooked. So what I like to do, like I say, this is kind of a non-traditional method, is bring a pot of water to a simmer. And don't boil it, just bring it to a simmer, and make sure you're using a non-stick pot. Trust me, I've done this with regular stainless. It's a nightmare. Pot stickers, they live up to their name. So what we'll do is we'll just drop a few in here, and oh, let's see, well maybe we'll do 4. And what I'm going to do is just cook these for 7 minutes, and then at the end of 7 minutes, we'll take them out, and then set them on a rack. Replace the water with just a little bit of oil in the bottom of the pan. We'll crisp them up. We'll be ready to go. So 7 minutes. We'll be right back. So it's been 7 minutes and our pot stickers are cooked. What I'm going to do now is just pull them out of the water, and I'm going to put them all on a rack here. Okay. And then we're going to dump the water out of our pan. Just get rid of that here. I'm going to wipe out our pan a little bit. And then in here we're going to put about 2 tablespoons of oil. You just want enough to kind of coat the bottom of the pan. And it'll depend on the size of pan you're using, how much oil you actually need. But we're just going to kind of coat the bottom here. Bring that around. Alright. We're just going to take our pot stickers. No, let's do it this way. We're going to take our pot stickers and then put them back in. Just let them kind of crisp up just a little bit. If you have a splatter screen, now is a good time to use it. And we're just going to let those brown up. Let's take a look at our pot stickers and see how they're doing here. Oh, there we go. See how they're just, the bottoms are just now starting to brown. I'm going to go ahead and flip these. And brown the other side. And hopefully you can see what I mean about the splatter screen. It definitely does help. Alright, so we'll let the other side brown, and it's almost pot sticker time. I don't know if you can fully get the full effect at home, but my mouth is watering over these. These look really good. And don't forget about that sauce that we made earlier. Remember how we were just kind of letting it hang out? What we're going to do is we're just going to strain it. Put it through. Grab a spoon here. Just push all that good stuff out. And that way you get all the flavor, but not with all the chunks in it. For lack of a better way to put it. So what do you got? Pot sticker sauce. That'll go in there. And I'm thinking it's time to eat. So if we use that here, get this open. This. Alright. So I'm making a mess, which is as usual. Get a little sauce on here. Mmm. Mmm. Oh my goodness. The filling and everything, can you see this? Mmm. So good. Mmm. Mmm. I'm telling you, these are time consuming, but they are so worth it. Mmm. That's so good. Mmm. So until next time, I'm going to finish eating these, and we'll see y'all later.